I'm Andrea. This video is on finding slope, specifically finding slope when you're given a line. So you're given the graph of that line and not the equation. So if you're given the equation, you want to take that equation, put it in slope-intercept form, and then figure out what the slope is by looking at your equation. It's the coefficient of x in that equation. But if you're given a graph, you don't have to first find the equation to find the slope. You can actually find the slope just from the points that are on the graph. So in this particular case, we can think of slope as rise over run, or change in y over change in x. So rise is like the change from one point to another in y coordinates. So the y coordinate is 8 here, and then it's -1 here. So the y actually goes down 9. So the change in y, or the rise, would be -9 from the left point to the right point. Now the change in x here would be, looks like you're going from 1 over to 5, right? So the x coordinate here is 1, and then it's 5. So that's going to go up 4. So that's a +4 for the change in. So for this particular example, call it example 1, we know that the slope, it's change in y over change in x, but the change in y is -9 because it goes down from left to right. And then the change in x was 4, so the slope here would be -9/4. Now this this fraction can't be reduced. 9 and 4 are relatively prime. They don't have any common factors, so I don't need to reduce the slope for this particular one. Now let me do another example where you do have to reduce the fraction. So we'll need a new graph. Maybe this one. Okay, so for this graph, I can kind of see these 2 points. Those are the ones that I would probably use if I were going to find slope. I'm still going to be looking at the change in y and the change in x. Change in y divided by change in x. So I need to look at how much it rises. You know, it's going to be positive here because it goes up when we go from left to right. And then how much it runs side to side from one point to the other. So the change in y here, it goes from 2 up to 6 for the second point. So the y coordinate here is 2. The y coordinate up here is 6. So the change is 4. It goes from 2 to 6, that's 4. And then the x change in x, it's going from 1 up to, looks like 7. So this is 7, 6. So the x coordinate here is 7. The x coordinate here is 1. 7 minus 1, that's the change, would give me 6. So 4/6 is the slope, but this fraction can be reduced because 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So to reduce this fraction, I would divide the top and the bottom of the fraction by 2, which doesn't change the value, it just changes how it looks. So dividing the top by 2, I get 2. Dividing the bottom by 2, I get 3. And now these numbers, 2 and 3, don't have any common factors. So this is the reduced fraction. That's what we would really say the slope is. So that's the slope for that particular one. Now sometimes you'll be given points instead of being given a graph. You could graph them if you wanted to, but you don't have to. So maybe we're given the points, I don't know, 0, 5, and let's do 2, 3. 2, 3. Now if I wanted to do this straight without the graph, I could. I could just do change in y. I have to look at one y and then the other y. So y goes from 5 to 3. That's -2. Goes down 2. And then x goes from, 0 to 2. That's going up 2. So 2 over 2 is actually 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this would be -1. That's my slope. Now I could graph it. I'd get exactly the same thing. Okay, I hope this helps. Bye.